threatening situation. The average person's heartbeat can be upwards of 175 beats per minute. A well-trained tango is able to stay cool, keep calm. Their heart rates can be 70 to 100 beats per minute. But by the time I'm done, that number goes down to 0.
What is up, everybody? It is Sensei Bruh, and we are back with another video. Today we're going to be playing the J-10C and some ARB. And yeah, bro, we're going to be testing out the PL-12As. We're going to see how these bad boys fare in ARB. And I'm pretty excited, man. We're going to test out the new GNSS. I don't know if you guys saw when I was hovering over it there, you saw the GNSS. Basically, zero IOG drift, and yeah, we're going to test it out. I also unlocked the J-15T on last night's stream. So we're going to be testing this bad boy out. You get 14 missiles, 10 Fox 3s, 4 IR missiles, and yeah. Also, guys, on the chopping block, we are going to get the British Super Hornet as well. I want to test out the 120Ds, so I'm going to let you guys know about that. And yeah, be expecting that sometime soon. I want to get another video on the J-15, and then probably going to be doing the British Super Hornet. But yeah, that's so far, that's about it. And with that being said, let's jump straight into the first game. I'm really excited to test out these new PL-12As and show you guys on video. I was able to try them out on stream. They're really freaking good. Let's just say that. The PL-12A, the GNSS, in my opinion so far from what I've used of them, it really, truly does make a difference. I think that it's extremely strong, especially in those IOG plus data link scenarios, especially like a top-down, you know, the guy's notching your missile, but because you're holding in that IOG, or you're holding that data link, the missile switches from IOG, or like from just IOG to IOG plus data link, so it's getting updates when it's, you know, when you're holding the soft lock on them, and it's extraordinarily strong with the ACER radars, because you get those continuous updates, so it's updating really, really quickly with the data link, and that the IOG has zero drift, so very, very potent. Anyways, with that being said, we're in the first game now. So I decided to go left here, city match. If I spawn on the other side, this is actually one of the only maps I'll go to the right in, but we're just going up to the left. We've seen a couple guys on the other team, decided to come over here. I'm pretty sure there's a little cluster of 2 right there. Yeah, there's an F-16, and then there's something else. There's another flanker as well. I wanted to try to separate. I'm bringing my radar to 20 kilometers to see if I could separate between the 2, and we were able to. My missile switched onto him. Oh, no, it switched back. That's pretty nice. That was kind of odd there. The PL-12 I shot at the other guy, or like they both were tracking the same target, and then it like fixed itself. But 2 hits there. That's freaking nice, bro. The IOG plus data link, I'm telling y'all, is top down. It's going to be really, really potent with the PL-12A. We fired a missile at the flanker. He fired a missile at us. We defended that one earlier on. I think he's looking to counter fire here. Nope, he went down. There is a second flanker behind him there, though. Let's see if we can get a missile off on him. That missile away. He's looking to counter fire, so we're going to start getting a little bit more defensive. There you go. We're going to do a little bit of a vertical notch here. So we're going upwards. Get in the 90, drop some chaff, and there she goes. You saw it bite on the chaff right there, so we're good to recommit. Good missile by him. I'm pretty sure he's going to eat ours. Nope, he defended ours, so we're going to send another one at him. No launch limit, PL-12A, very strong there. We're already defensive, and he's still, like, having to face towards us to fire a missile. That's why working with your radar gimbal limits is very, very useful. People joke and say we're playing high off bore sight Thunder, and honestly, I agree. Like, the ability to just snap onto somebody with your HMS and fire a quick missile, like, literally all that matters is your high off bore sight capability. So that's why those HMS quick locks are, like, a necessity for top-tier ARB. With that being said, I sped that part up here. We're kind of searching around for enemies. There was kind of the rest of the game was pretty boring. I literally wiped the whole fucking lobby basically in the beginning game, and then the rest of it was kind of boring. But I found the last guy's a flanker, 22 clicks out. So we're just gonna set a missile at him. This is that scenario that I'm talking about. So he's multipathing. He's just coming off the airbase, but we're holding that IOG plus data link. So I'm holding that soft lock on him while the missile's looking down. While I'm looking down at him. So I'm in the IOG plus data link. It's a very, very potent, especially now with the new GNSS. So I believe that first one, did that first one connect? Let's see. First one didn't connect. Second one, same scenario though, multipathing. We're holding the IOG plus data link. Hold those, yeah. I was gonna say the soft lock was updating the missile's information, and it hit. So, you know, same situation. Like the normal PL-12, like I was playing some games, and there were some situations where in the exact same scenario, I would fire a PL-12, and I would fire PL-12A, and the PL-12 would not connect, whereas the PL-12A would. So the people who say that there's not really a difference between the like GNSS and not. Like the 120C is like being a little bit inferior to the 120D, with 120D having the GNSS. It's getting that, you know, upgrade. There's some people that say that GNSS is not that impactful. I would argue otherwise. That was kind of a bad stutter, I'm not gonna lie. I would argue otherwise. I would say that it's actually not, it's not bad at all, bro. I was just saying in chat there, 12A is fucking nuts. It's really, really good. This was a good game. I decided to clip. I didn't really frag out, but there was a couple good players on the other team. There was Trackpad and I think it was Skinny. I thought it was Rastafari Ray at first. I was like, wait, he's a fucking tanker. And then, yeah, it was just Skinny. He changed his name or something like that. But this was a good game. It shows a little bit more about my positioning more so than anything. I kind of went really defensive here just because I was typing. But still, like, there ended up being a couple guys out here, so I wasn't, like, crazy out of position. I was just a little bit more defensive than I normally would be. But it just means I kind of went uncontested, which is not necessarily a bad thing in these aircraft, because like the J-10 and the J-15, for example, kind of suffer from limited countermeasures. So going defensive earlier on in the game and then just, you know, what their engine upgrades, hitting the fucking furball at Mach 2, like 11 kilometers up, is not necessarily a bad thing. The only thing is, like, if your team kind of disintegrates, you're going to be in kind of a poor position because you have to fend off, like, the whole team, basically. So you could be, you can get left in those, like, 1v8, 1v9 scenarios a little bit more often, I feel like, when you do that. I still think, you know, it's not necessarily a bad option. In fact, I think that's the only really way to play the J-15. You don't have to go, like, hyper defensive, but you want to play, like, pretty damn passive, you know. Just because it, you know, 48 countermeasures, it's going to be certainly tough to manage all the spam in the beginning BVR. So I just think positioning yourself so that you don't deal with it is best. Anyways, we found a couple guys on the radar here. We're just moving in now, and so I sent out a PL-12A on one guy. It should connect. 3, 2, 1. Bang. Send another missile out on the F-16 there. Another missile is pressure. That J-10 I knew was Skinny from earlier I saw in the game, so I was hesitant to send off this missile despite the fact that he's in the NES. I got a launch warning there. I thought that was on me. It would end up being a false alarm, but I sent the missile anyway as pressure. I was hesitant at first because I thought it was going to be a waste of a missile since I knew he was going to defend it. But we got a hit on that F-16 under us, which is fine. I switched to HMS here because I want a quick relock in case I need to fire off a high foresight missile. I did not need to. He went down to my missile. So we were good there. I swapped back to TWS so I can hold the like data link, because TWS data link is actually harder than a HMS hard lock. Like the information that the data link provides on TWS is stronger, and it's harder to defeat, it's harder to notch and stuff like that than an HMS lock. And a lot of people don't know that. So people think that because it's a hard lock that there's, I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of counterintuitive. Maybe it might be that way in real life, but in game at least, a TWS soft lock is always going to be a little bit harder to defend than a HMS hard lock. Anyways, I'm going to pause here so you guys see I'm getting into the notch now. Right about here, the missile is like I'm over 90 degrees, so I need to pull into the missile so you see me roll over my aircraft, and we just drop some chaff. And right when we're in the 90, we have to drop the chaff, and you guys will see the missile is going to bite on the chaff. So in the 90, I just rolled over, got in the 90, dropped chaff, and you saw the missile bite on the chaff on that third freeze frame. And yeah, that's kind of the cues of a vertical notch. It's the same as horizontally. You're just changing the plane of motion. That's all. Anyways, third game here. This was kind of a nice game. The other game only ended up being a 3-piece, but in the beginning you saw me fiddling around with the missile filter. So if you guys already didn't notice, I should have brought this up earlier, but the new like TWS interface is very interesting. Like the plane, I'm still kind of getting used to it, to be honest with you. The planes show up, and before I was already pretty good at like distinguishing between, you know, what's an aircraft, what's a missile, what's a bomb, you know, all that type of stuff. But now the new images kind of made it a little bit hard to distinguish between all that stuff. So I kind of like found myself being tripped up a little bit with the, you know, what's a bot versus an actual player. But towards the end of the video, I think I started to kind of get the hang of it. But yeah, you guys saw me fiddling with the missile filters in the beginning because I wanted to show how much clutter. If you go back in time, or like back in the video, not back in time. If you go back in the video, you can see that like I turned it on and off to show the difference in how many radar signatures I had on my radar. And that was literally just 2 aircraft slinging off fucking missiles. And there was like literally cleared off like half of the contacts on my radar. So it can be useful in situations. Also, you'll see me later on in the video actually toggle it on in an endgame scenario because I want to use my radar to sense when they shoot a missile at me. It helped me go defensive against, you know, I was a 1v4 scenario a little bit later on in the video. And yeah. Anyways, We sent out a fucking crazy long PL-12. I didn't really expect it to hit. Went down. There you go. It was on that Su-30 SM2, like, way up top in the contrail. So we had a missile on us. We defended that. I'm kind of seeing over to my right. So we got fired at from in front of me to the right. We got fired on me to the right as well. So we're defending both. I'm pretty sure that one on the right is actually not on me, or it's going to be run out of energy. The one up in front of me that I'm defending now is actually the more present danger. So we're going to defend that one first. Did a kind of an aggressive notch there, changed a lot of altitude. I see a guy up at contrail. I saw another guy up at contrail up and to the left, but he was a little bit further away, so I'm not worried about him. We got a nice hit on the J-10C there. I verified right there with the soft lock. You guys saw him. He's the J-10 that was really close to us. There's a fireball. I'm also bringing my radar up to look at whatever the fuck is up there. It ended up being an F-15 going like Mach fuck. So I just ignored him. I'm instead kind of queuing up this Eurofighter just in case he like kind of goes head on to me. So because I still have 5 PL-12As. So I have a decent amount of standoff potential. And if he had gone hot to me, I probably would have fired a missile. But because he's going cold and it's my teammates, I was like, you know what? What's the fucking point? I see that guy up at contrailing. That's a guy from before. He's way up and to the left, but I'm able to hold a soft lock on this F-15 and fire at him while also defending the other guy's missile. So I'm just going to stay in this position because this is not bad for me. This is not bad for me at all. So I fired a missile and I sent another one at him just in case he decided to get, you know, aggressive towards me and push towards me, but he ended up just going passive and defending the missile. So I've been defending the missile from the J-10 this whole time. At least it says J-10 on my RWR. I believe it ended up being a J-15. Yeah, multi-jet. I'm pretty sure it's a J-15. I think the J-15 got psyched out by how many countermeasures he got. He went like hyper defensive, and now he's like really far away and not able to help his teammates out so much anymore. And now we're going to go defensive to his new PL-12A. In the notch now, changing some altitude, get out of the path of IOG. Once the RWR goes silent, we're going to be good to recommit. So it goes silent here. Recommitting. You guys will see I'm bringing over my TWS. Get the quick relock there, and we're going to fire it. We're just going to go we're going to go defensive. I'm laying off the burner because I don't have that much fuel, so I wanted to be conservative of it while still trying to close distance. So the missile's pretty close to me now, 6 kilometers. We're going to get into the notch. Going to get into the notch, change some altitude, drop some chaff. You saw I defeated that missile with like 2-3 chaff. Like, it was nothing crazy. And he ended up biting our missile. I was going to be in a position to recommit right there. Like, I literally had the HMS queued over him. So if I wanted to lock and fire another missile, I could have. That was a decent joust with that last guy there. Or not the last guy, but second to last guy. This was a 4-piece so far. I do end up getting the last guy, but I'm speeding this part up for you because I'm always just going back to base to fucking rearm. But yeah, so far, PL-12A's fucking nutty. Also, I would like to take this time to thank those of you who have stayed so far. I promise you, the next game is absolutely fucking bonkers. So keep watching the video for that. I also am probably going to figure out how to do the chapters so that way you guys don't have to like go anywhere else for it. Or like, you know, you can just skip to it if you want to watch that, I guess. Because next game is pretty nice. But anyways, I also wanted to say thank you for your continued support, bro. It really helps me out. And yeah, I'm able to do this because you guys are here and watching and all that stuff, and I really appreciate it. This is gonna be my 3rd ever YouTube video. I'm really enjoying. Well, I'm enjoying the long form content, like the YouTube videos and stuff like that. It's just so time consuming doing the editing and whatnot. But hey, it's you know, I get to play video games for fun and I get to teach people the ropes, so it's not necessarily a bad thing at all. And yeah, I wanted to say thank you, guys. I know I literally just said it, and I say it a lot on stream and stuff like that, but I really mean it. It means a lot to me that you guys are sticking along for the content, sticking along for the journey, and all that stuff. But let's see, we got the F-15 on the radar now. He's just chilling, bro. We're both chilling. I don't know if it's a 1v1. I'm pretty sure we also have a J-15 up and alive. But we're just staying up at altitude. We're pretty fast. We got him queued up here. We're gonna probably fire soon once he gets a little bit closer into the NES. Just his pressure. I don't really care if the missile hits. It's just some form of pressure on him. It makes it so that he has to kind of go defensive, or he has to like fire one of his missiles at mine or something like that. You know, just along those lines. So we fired the missile when he was about 36 or 37 kilometers away. And so now we're going to go defensive here. I'm going to fire another one right before I go defensive because I have a feeling that he's in an F-15 Golden Eagle probably, so he's going to shoot a missile at my missile. And so we're prepared for that. We sent a missile again right before we went offensive, and now we're just kind of chilling, bro. So let's see what we can do. Gonna go defensive against his missiles. I think he's got the 120Ds, if it's a Golden Eagle. Oh, it's an F-15C. Oh, yeah, it could be a Golden Eagle. He hit it with the 120D, yeah. So, and he ate the second one. So he shot my missile down he shot my first missile down, but he ate the second one. That's exactly what I fired it for, because I kind of expected that. F-15 players do it a lot. Su-30 players do it a lot. The missile, counter-missile meta is extraordinarily fucking dumb, bro. I hate that shit so much. But, yeah. And we're just going to rip our wings here. Calm little -6 Gs in the J-10C. With that being said, we are here in the final game of the video. This one is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of jumped straight into the action. There was a lot of the beginning that I cut out. It's obviously just me climbing and stuff like that. But I kind of got a little bit aggressive in the beginning game. I typically don't do this. I would like to go a little bit more passive, but they had an alarmingly large number of the enemy team were heading over to the right side of the map. So, I don't know. But it is kind of what it is. We decided to fire at these guys coming in a little bit more, because like the guys that are close to me, my teammates are on him. I don't need to put pressure on these guys. Like I fired at the Gripen just because it's a Gripen. Like it'll probably I think it ends up like evading that missile along with like 6 others shot at it. The Gripen is just fucking crazy good in multipath. And then we got an F-15 up there that we fired at 6 kilometers away. He ended up going down. It's kind of a waste of a missile, but it's okay. I don't mind taking that shot at all. So I went down for the Gripen over here because like those missiles that I shot before did exactly their purpose. They kept those other guys defensive. That means that they couldn't push in at me, so I'm free to kind of take this engagement with the Gripen. And that was the purpose of those missiles. If they didn't connect, they keep them defensive. You know, that was the entire purpose of those missiles. So we fired a PL-12A at the Gripen. That was pre-flaring. Probably not a good idea. That PL-12A was also kind of a Hail Mary. Probably not a very good idea on my end. But I spooled up the PL-12A, but I saw a missile coming at him. He escapes the multipath, and now he's done there. But yeah, so decent engagement overall. However, I did use a lot of my missiles. So what I end up doing actually is I kind of just want to scout where the enemy team's at. I see, you know, they got a couple guys. They got an F-16. That was one of them that I shot at earlier. He's now finally recommitting again. So we're going to send a missile at him to keep him defensive. Or, yeah, we're going to send a missile at him. And now we're going to go defensive because I saw the F-18 on the ground. He sent a missile at me, so we're just going to get into the multipath here while notching. There's also an F-16 contrailing. I don't know if you guys can see that up and to the left on the top left of my screen. So I saw that. I also got the RWR warnings, and I turned to defend his missiles because he was kind of the next most present danger to me. I could have probably stayed in the multipath, but if it was a 120D, honestly, just staying in the multipath wouldn't have worked. So I had to notch. And we got a really high bore side PL-12A. Look at that, bro. That's going to crank. I was facing like a complete 180 practically. We notch his missile here from top down. Not a bad notch at all. He defended that missile somehow. Very nice on him. And we're going to send another one at him. High off bore sight, 4 kilometers away. We're going to go defensive. He's going to start... Oh, he's turning away. He's trying to run away from the missile. That's not going to work out very well for you. And he eats it. Nice. Nice, guys. Nice. All right. So I noticed, I took a look at the scoreboard. I was like, fuck, there's not a lot of the enemy team left, and there's not a lot of us left. And I don't have very many missiles, and I'm low on fuel. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go rearm. And I'll speed this part up here, just because obviously you don't really want to see this. But there was an F-18 that found me and was kind of hawking me down a little bit. I kind of got nervous that I was going to go down, but he ended up getting scared away by base AA later on in the video and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a crazy... This is going to turn into a crazy freaking game, bro. You'll see a little bit later on in a couple minutes. It's going to get bonkers. Well, not this F-18, but there's going to be an F-18 that poses a significant threat to me later on in the game. Actually, this guy does too, I guess, technically, at the very, very end. But, yeah. So, I end up getting left in a 1v4 scenario. My teammates died. And we're going back to base here. The missile's obviously on me. I'm just staying in the multipath. This is pretty simple stuff, pretty standard. I'm just trying to run the missile. Like, I'm just going to drain it kinetically. I'm going Mach 1.3, you know, right on the deck, basically. Like, this is a freaking fast aircraft. The new WS-10D engine buffs helped significantly, in my opinion. We're going to try to terrain mask there. We went around the side of the mountain. I'm just kind of look for him, see where he's at. Missile evasion, so I know I outran the missile there. We're chilling. He's still behind us. We're kind of checking around, checking our 6 to see where he's at. I'm going around the mountain here. I'm not going to go straight to the airfield because I want to try to play this a little bit more passively. I want to make sure that before I land that I'm safe to land. So I see that the base AA, I'm going to pop up here around the base. I'm going to see that the base AA are actually firing at him. So you can see that the missiles, I saw the missile contrails right there. I'm going to zoom in because I'm popping over the hill to see where he's at. I was like, I didn't know where he was, and I see him. He's on the right a little bit more. I got the HMS Hardlock. I saw the missiles. There's the F-18. I was like, okay, he's going cold to me. He's going to run away now. I'm just going to go rearm. So that's what I do. By the way, guys, check out the skin, bro. It's not too shabby if you ask me. I got it You saw how, like, the earlier games, I literally only played, so this morning, well, I'm doing the voiceover the next day, but when I played these games, I think I literally only played 6 games or 7 games, unironically, yeah, whatever. I think I only played, like, 6 or 7 games unironically, and, you know, I was able to get the footage for this. That was these games. I think over half my games were aces, so I got a couple 5 pieces, and I got a 6 piece and stuff like that. I saw the F-18, by the way, still running away, so we're still speeding this up because it's kind of boring here, but it's going to get hectic in a little bit. The other enemies are taking off their base. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent right now. I'm showing off the skin. That's what I got to do. Check this out, guys. We got the acrobatic skin. I was using the other one earlier, and I've realized I had this one unlocked. I think they had just added it, but I had like got the point, score enough already for it, because I actually have the free ace on the J-10C. So yeah, I got this skin. It's pretty fucking neat. You'll see later, bro. I'm putting it to good use. Anyways, got the F-18. He's 40 clicks out right now. I'm actually going to turn on. This is what I was talking about earlier. You guys are going to see me turn on the missiles on my radar. This is the one time I actually want more information. So I want to know when these F-18s are firing at me. So I know like how many missiles they have on me, if they're sending a missile at my missile. All that type of stuff can be told by having the missiles on. I also am going to start sending a missile out on these guys for pressure. I'm trying to hold a soft lock on the F-18 on the left while starting to do fire at the other guys just for pressure. I know that the missiles are probably not going to hit, but they are going to keep them defensive. So the F-18 started firing at me. I'm going to send another one at him before I turn him to go defensive now. He sent 2 missiles at me, so we're going to go defensive. 2 missiles at me, so we're going to go defensive. We're going defensive. We're in the notch, stay in the notch, get in the notch, stay in the notch, bang. I've got that F-16 queued up in front of me. He's starting to also launch missiles at me. The F-18 on the left just got hit by the crit. I'm pretty sure he actually gets taken out. So he starts slinging every single one of his fucking missiles at me. And once he does this, you guys are going to see here, all of War Thunder summed up in one singular frame. There's fucking 5 missiles right there. He sent another one right before that. He sent another like 3 or 4 right before that. So he sent like 8 missiles at me. I'm also defending that F-16 missile from in front of me. So you see me going down, dropping a lot of altitude. All of those missiles got defeated by one freaking chaff, bro. You literally can watch them all, the point at which they all bit. If I went back and slowed it down, or if you want to go back and slow it down, you can do that. F-18, he's severe damage now. We're good there. This F-16, he also spent all his missiles on me, so I know I don't really have to worry about him. I didn't have to worry about him once I saw he spammed off all his missiles. I kind of considered the fact, or like I kind of thought, he's fucked. Like, he's going to go down anyways, so I just ignored him. I sent a missile out on the F-16 up there to keep pressure on him, stop him from going towards me, so that way I can also kind of watch the other F-16 on the left there. So I can see him. He's rendered in for me now, or he's about to render in. He's actually about to fire at me, and that's where I kind of find him, I believe. So, yep, there's the missile on me. I see the missile diamond. I swap to HMS. I get the really quick relock. Bang. High off bore side, PL-12A. No launch limit. Look at that, bro. I was able to go defensive while firing the missile. That's what's so fucking great about it. The other F-16 I also see is firing at me, but I defended that one missile from the F-16. I got him there. I had the new PL-12A spooled up again if I had to. Now I have to defend these missiles from the other side on this guy here. So, defending these AMRAAMs. Defending these AMRAAMs. And this was the intro cinematic here. We defended that AMRAAM as well. That was not an 9M. That was an AMRAAM. He only had AMRAAMs. I tried reversing the turn here. Reversing the turn here. Tried to get a PL-8B. Did not track, unfortunately. The PL-8B is just not a very great dogfight missile. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I tried to pull a little bit more lead with the maneuver mode. I flipped it on so I could pull a little bit more lead for the missile. I thought it would make a difference in hitting, but it's a top aspect, front aspect, PL-8B. He'd have to drop a couple flares, and that was that. Anyways, I got to manage my closure here now. He looks like he's really slow. I'm pretty fast. I have my burner on and stuff, so I stopped that. I do like a quick little speed bleed. I have air brake out. I cut the throttle, or I cut the burner at least for a little bit and stuff like that. And now we're just chilling. Now we're chilling. We're going to stay behind him. That's all. Bro, it's a battle of attrition. Eventually, I'm going to gain position on him, right? So, like, I'll just take my pot shots, whatever. I mean, those were not... I mean, they could have been guaranteed hits, but anyways, this is where we got him. We just had to play that battle of attrition, take him to the deck where he couldn't do any more downward spirals. And yeah, I just had to manage my closure, and simple, bro. He got kind of shitted on, not gonna lie. And now, gonna go back to base. The F-18 that was behind me is finally now taking off after I destroyed the whole other enemy team, or the remaining enemy team, at least the 3 of them there. He said, look in chat, bro, I kind of aura farmed here. He's like, yo, he's got no more missiles because he used them all on me. And I said, don't worry, I'm inevitable. Bang, W Thanos quote. Your efforts are in vain. Hold on. That might be aura. That could be aura. It might not be aura. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that was aura or not. And now it's just 1v1. Me versus Super Hornet from earlier. So he was the one that chased me down. He ran away because of the base AA. He went back to base. He's taking off again. I'm going to do the same thing. I checked to see the time. At this point in the game, there's probably only like, I don't know, a couple minutes left before time ran out, so I had to get him here. I was presetting my radar up on the right side because I knew that's where he'd probably be. He went to like the fucking wrong airfield. I like look at my map to see he's at like our close airfield, so I go out to the right a little bit. I find him there. I got my PL-12As. I go to the skinny scan mode. I also have this is where having that radar filter came in handy. So I'm firing missiles at his missiles. I typically don't condone this. Like I actually really dislike doing this, but I'm just coming off the airfield. I'm trying to get speed and I'm trying to get myself in a good position. I don't really care if I have less missiles than him because I'm confident in my jousting ability, my dogfighting ability once we kind of get into that close range. So I just want to close the distance as much as I can. We sent out 2 missiles at him. First one got defeated. The other one is also getting defeated right now. You guys can see it's kind of like lagging behind him, sort of. That's like, so it's not being data linked because it's a look up missile. So it switched to a search filter and it bit on his chaff. So those missiles are no longer of any use to me, really. I don't think I can get them to relock. I sent another missile to him. He's about to start. He's recommitting towards me, so he's going to start firing at me shortly. He's got a lock. There's the missile. I sent another one at him just before I went defensive, just to keep him for defensive a little bit even longer. I only have 2 more PL-12As, but he starts like double tapping me. And if he had just gone 1 missile at a time every single time, he'd probably be in a lot better of a scenario. But I tried to close as much distance as I could there. I stayed offensive until the last second. So you see I didn't go into the notch right away, and here again you're going to see I'm going to try to close distance before I fire off my PL-12. I got him spooled up. I got the missile spooled up, but I'm waiting until he fires his missile where I go defensive. And I'm going to let this speak for itself.
拉起，雷达12点上方。允许发射。
Was that cinema or what, bro? I don't know. I thought that cinematic was fucking awesome. I want to try to experiment with that more, bro. That was fucking fun to make, and I thought it looked sick as shit, too. So, anyways, this is going to be the voiceover here, the unedited clip. So, we defended his missiles there. Now we're just trying to close distance. I want to joust with my PL-8B. I know it's not going to hit. So, I just sent it at him because I want him to think it's like another, you know, Fox 3, whatever the case may be. He's flaring. He defended that missile. We defeated his as well. I wasn't really worried about it to begin with just because I didn't think it would pull from that range. But I threw out the air brake so I could get into a little bit of a slower speed. I came in a little bit hot. He's going to try to pull some lead here. He's sitting on the button, bro. He's ripping his shit. There, he pulled the button. He tried to get a shot, which if I went straight, it honestly would have been pretty close. But I was able to jink when I saw the missile. So we evaded that. The missile also, I wasn't really afraid of it to begin with. Even if he had pulled like a shit ton of lead, just because it's a 9M, I don't think it would have tracked. However, we're staying in the 2 circle. I know it's a battle of attrition. This, though, I saw the chance for the reversal, and we fucking went for it. Oh my god. Oh my god. If I had literally held the trigger for another second, I think I would have actually hit him. But we had to recover now, so we went negative there. He honestly could have, if he like pushed his nose over, like he tried to pitch down, he might have been able to get his nose close to me. However, I think he just really low on energy there, so he just didn't have the nose authority he wanted. I went negative, grabbed some speed. Now we're taking it vertically again, and we're back in the 2 circle. This is where I want to try to keep it because I know I outrate him. I also checked a little bit earlier. He had his missiles. He had I think a 9M and an AMRAM or something. I only have 1 PL-8B, obviously, and I'm still kind of heavy on fuel. Like obviously this is a decent fuel load that I have on the J10. This is like fucking probably close to 50%, a little bit, maybe a little bit less. But I'm still pretty heavy on fuel. I don't know what his situation is, but I know that I'm pretty confident that I can outrate him in my current position now. So I was just standing on the elevator. I was going to see if I could like bend a PL-8B around the mountain. I didn't think that was going to happen. So now we're just waiting for the HMS IR lock. I'm going to wait for him to pop up. I knew he was going to try to reverse the turn kind of around the mountain, using the mountain as cover. And yeah, we got him right there, bro. It's a matter of lining up the guns. This is a crazy acrobatic maneuver. I thought I almost kind of fucked myself while doing it, because I almost hit the ground, bro. I barely pull up. I had to keep the maneuver mode on in order to survive here. Oh, that was close. And with that being said, boys, thank you so much for all your support. If you enjoy the channel and enjoy the content, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, boys, I am out. Peace.